So now we're going to talk about forbidden parallels in second species. The extra rhythmic complexity introduces some extra complexity with the voice leading too, as we're about to see. So first of all, as you would expect, when notes move together, you have to avoid parallel fifths and octaves and direct fifths and all of that usual kind of thing. So for example, this right here counts as parallel fifths. It's still in the alto clef, the D and the A moving in parallel to the C and the G. So we start the measure on the third, move to the fifth, move in parallel to another fifth. That is, of course, an instance of parallel fifths. What's more complicated about second species, relative to first, is that there's another way to write parallel fifths. We might have, suppose that we've written this in an exercise, and now we want to fix the exercise, so we say, well, why don't we switch the order of the notes? So now the fifth is approached by contrary motion. There's no problem in the immediate succession of notes. However, our ears are going to connect those two downbeats, those two strong beats. Listen to this when I play it. That sounds like a slightly decorated version of. So whether I have the original version or the revised version you see on the board, those both create the oral sensation of parallel fifths. Those are both illegal. Fortunately, it's parallels that we have to worry about. Direct octaves, so moving in similar motion from downbeat to downbeat into a perfect interval is not a problem. So for example, if I change that to a sixth, you might say, if this note weren't here in first species, that would be direct fifths, similar motion into a perfect interval. But direct fifths octaves are only a problem in immediate successions. The downbeat to downbeat connections are only a problem with parallels. And let me play this quickly, you'll see what I mean. There's no accent, that jumping out of the texture that you get when you have a parallel arrival on a fifth, or a true direct fifth, that doesn't happen in this case. Now there's one other case that we have to think about. So if immediate succession, weak beat to strong beat, we have to watch out for. Strong beat to strong beat, we have to watch out for. What about weak beat to weak beat? Well, fortunately, there's no, and this is going to hold in general throughout species counterpoint as we add greater rhythmic complexity, or at least, it'll hold in the next species as well. There's no such thing as a forbidden voice leading into a weak beat. So we can see this a few times in this lower counterpoint. Notice we've got 2 fifths on consecutive weak beats. Here, again, we've got 2 fifths on consecutive weak beats. Let me play just, say, from here to here in this exercise. Listen for those fifths. You won't hear that parallel fifth sound. So those are the last 2 fifths, but embedded in, we simply don't connect them. We don't have the oral psychological experience of the fifths that we do have, well, back when there were fifths there. Strong beat to strong beat or immediate succession. One thing to add to that last topic, it's not exactly parallels, but in terms of this business of connecting consecutive strong beats, recall that we don't want more than 3 imperfect parallel consonances in a row in first species. The same thing holds in second species downbeat to downbeat, because we're going to connect those downbeats. Let me play this for you. Notice we've got sixths always on the downbeats 4 times. Now that's not 3 sixths in a row. That would actually be impossible in second species. You'd have repeated notes to get those, to get 2 sixths in a row within a measure. But we're going to hear those sixths, and as I get to the fourth, I think you'll hear it's a little too much.